We have reached the magic number 200. Episode number 200 or 200. Episode 200, número 200. I have never thought that one day I would reach 200 episodes of EMS. Seriously, never. I never thought this day would come. Welcome, amigos y amigas. My name is Milena from EnglishMadeSimple.net, EnglishMadeSimple.net, and welcome to the newbies and oldies as well. I have been the host of this podcast since episode 0. Yes, there is an episode 0. It does exist. It's one of my very first episodes that I did. That episode took me 3 months to publish and to make it public. So I prepared it and then it took me 3 months. I waited, I contemplated, what am I doing? What is this podcast thing? What are people going to say? I was really self-conscious back then. So finally that episode was published and that episode was 10 minutes long. But it took me 3 months to publish. That was episode 0, guys. Episode 000. And I talk about that experience in episode 100. I talk about my experience of studying English Made Simple. If you want to check that out, that was episode 100. And Weon Inteligente did an interview with me back then. So yeah, if you want to go back through the archives, you can check it out and have a laugh. It's a funny episode. I had a fun time recording that. Cool. Now, I don't know what I was scared about, releasing the first episode. You guys are not that scary. You don't bite. I should have started this long time ago, right? Not 2 years ago, but 10 years ago I should have started it. Anyhow, I want to mark this episode 200, by taking this opportunity to recap what we have learned so far with English Made Simple. Now, to recap, do you know what that means? To recap means to review. Let's review. Let's go back in time and see what we've done so far throughout the course of English Made Simple. By the way, if you tend to repeat the word review a lot, you can replace it with the word recap. That's just a tip for you guys in today's episode. And that's what you've just learned in episode 200. You're welcome. All right, let's get real. Let's get real-zy. First off, this episode was brought to you by me, myself, and I, the 3 amigos. Okay, let's go back in time now. Let's hop into the time machine and travel back in time, okay? In the very early days, I started out with episodes such as difference between accents and pronunciation. I wanted to let you know that you should be focusing on pronouncing the words correctly. You should be focusing on learning how to pronounce the words more than worrying if your accent is okay or not. I have met people with various types of accents and guess what? Their English was, or still is, good. I understood them when they spoke. I understood them. They didn't speak in a British accent or American accent or a Canadian accent, but they spoke very good English because they were enunciating the words the right way. So that was episode 001. 001. That's how I started English Made Simple. That was my kind of first real episode in the repertoire. So that was episode 001. And then later on, I proceeded with tips. Now, if you keep scrolling after 001, you'll be seeing some tips for learning English. I also introduced you to phrasal verbs. That was episode 006. Long time ago. I started to receive a lot of emails from you guys. A flood of emails started to come through and messages from listeners who wanted to hear something special. They wanted to hear different types of episodes. They were making requests. So I created episode 018 and 019, 18 and 19 to do with the word look, L-O-O-K. And different ways you can use this word look. Look is a very popular word. It's like get in English. I think we did an episode on get. I think that was 16. I have to check that. I have to check. There was an episode about the word get and look. We also looked at difference between hear, see, and listen. A lot of people make this mistake. They don't know when to use hear and listen. Hear and listen, all right? Now, if you scroll back through the archive of episodes, you will see I did a lot of episodes comparing certain words. Words such as may versus might versus could. And that was episode, I think, 29, 029. And there was an episode about must versus have to. I must do this. I have to do this. Is there a difference? There is a slight difference. And that was in episode... what episode? That was in episode 030, number 30. That's a nice number. So I created these episodes because I wanted to make you aware that there are differences with certain phrases in English or with certain words and how we use them. So I created these episodes because I wanted you to know how and when to use certain phrases. You will see a lot of episodes in the archive that have that versus, like may versus might. So versus means comparing. May compared to might. Must compared to have to. So this VS abbreviation means versus, which is comparing certain things. In this case, words. We are comparing words. If you start going back through the archive, you will see those earlier episodes and you might learn a few things, okay? And I warn you that you will learn a couple of new words, maybe phrases, maybe you will learn new things. So keep scrolling down. Yes, there are older episodes, guys. See if something catches your eye, if you see something interesting. There is a lot of content in there, a lot of content, 2.5 years worth of content. It might take you a couple of months to finish listening, okay? Good luck. Now, as you start scrolling up, so from episode 29 onwards, as you start scrolling up, you will learn more and more about English expressions. If you want to speak like a native speaker, and by that I mean if you want to use the same type of vocabulary they use, if you want to use the vocabulary that will make you sound super duper fluent, but also that will help you fit in with the crowd, then I would recommend you learn phrasal verbs and English expressions. Oh, and slang would be helpful as well. And we did an episode about slang. I'll have to find that one and I'll put that in the notes, in the transcript. So to speak like a native speaker, ultimately you'll have to learn phrasal verbs and English expressions. You can read a textbook that explains phrasal verbs and expressions. You know, it's theory. However, in my opinion, this wouldn't be that helpful to you. Okay. The idea of learning phrasal verbs and English expressions is to know when to use them and especially how to use them. So if you listen to the earlier episodes of English Made Simple, I teach you some English expressions and phrasal verbs, and I give you some examples as well. So in those episodes, you will hear the pronunciation, and you will also learn how to use these expressions. So it's different than reading a book, you know. It's different reading a book about, oh, I have a splitting headache. What does it mean? You'll forget it instantly. So I think it's best if you just keep browsing, keep scrolling through the archive, and keep learning about English expressions and phrasal verbs. You will find more information on English expressions once you start scrolling through the archive. Any episode that's marked short and sweet, anywhere where I say short and sweet in the episode, that one would be about English expressions. And I used to have a segment called Short and Sweet. That was an additional episode that I used to release midweek. And it was all about English expressions. Cool bananas, amigos. I also did an episode on vocabulary from different industries, such as the health industry. And that was the episode, I think, 076. 076 was about vocabulary to do with pharmacy. So at the pharmacy, that was the name of the episode. Also, episode number 078, going to the doctors. You can also listen to that episode. And then in episode number 079, you learned an English expression to do with a headache. What is a splitting headache? Ooh, I have a splitting headache. What is a headache? Well, if you listen to episode 76, 78, 79, you will know. All right? Alrighty. Now, just quickly, I also touched on prepositions. I touched on some prepositions that I think would be helpful to you guys. The episodes are about in and into and on and onto. What are these prepositions? I'm sure you've heard what is into, what is onto. Why is it different to normal prepositions like in and on? You've heard those prepositions before. I am pretty sure you've heard them before, but do you really know how to use them? We'll learn those prepositions in episode 098, how to use prepositions in and into, and 096, prepositions on and onto. And there was also a couple of English expressions, 097, what it means to go on a diet, and also he's not that into you. What does that mean? That was in episode 99. Yes, there was a movie called He's Not That Into You. It's a rom-com type of movie. Rom-com is short for romantic comedy. All right, let's not get distracted. One second. Where was I? All right. So yes, there's quite a bit of mix of content in there for you guys. I think I have over 20 hours worth of content, amigos, and I for sure know there is over 600 pages of transcripts as well. Now, some transcripts are available on the website and some are not available freely on the website. Those will be available to VIP EMS listeners only. So if you start scrolling back through the archive, you'll see that that's about 2.5 years of work here. 2.5. So that makes English Made Simple 2.5 years old. How old are you, EMS? I'm 2.5. Time flies indeed. So who is English Made Simple? Who is the team behind English Made Simple? This team is made up of 3 people. Me, myself, and I. Yes. Only 3 people. Me, myself, and I. Me is responsible for preparing the content, doing the research, curating the content. Myself is responsible for recording and editing. And I is responsible for hosting and writing transcripts. So me, myself, and I are a team of 3. The 3 amigos. You can call us the 3 amigos. All right, to celebrate the EMS birthday of 2.5, yes, we're gonna do this unorthodox birthday celebration. To celebrate the EMS birthday of 2.5 years, you can buy me a cup of coffee. We can celebrate together. I've got a coffee here. I've got a cup of coffee here. I'm pretty excited. It's 2.5. Pretty excited. It's 2.5 years of EMS. Why don't you join me for a cup of coffee? A small donation from yourself will get me well caffeinated to continue producing more and more valuable content just for you. And guys, I'm a real coffee addict, a real junkie. That's what keeps me up. That's what keeps my energy up. That's why I'm always so bubbly, excited, and full of energy. When you're ready, you can go to englishmadesimple.net/coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. By buying me a cup of coffee, amigos, you'll help me continue to release and produce episodes. I will be releasing episodes about the stuff that you want to hear on a regular basis. And of course, producing the content that you want to listen to. And of course, I will be able to provide you with the new and improved transcripts and much, much more. Your support will mean a lot. Now, if you have been learning a lot by listening to the EMS show, and you also want to be able to have access to the transcripts, then when you choose to buy me a cup of coffee, you can donate any amount you wish, by the way. You can buy me a cup of coffee, and as soon as you donate, you will get access to the transcripts. You will get access to a few transcripts that are not readily available on my website. So these transcripts that you will have access to are only available to the VIP EMS listeners. So not everyone has access to these transcripts. You can head on over to englishmadesimple.net/coffee where you can buy me 2 or 3 cups of coffees and you will get instant access to those transcripts. You will get access to the transcripts that's not freely available on my website. That link was englishmadesimple.net/coffee. You've been an awesome audience so far, amigos. Thank you all for your support. Thanks for tuning in to today's show, and thanks for supporting EMS up until here. We are going to keep going. I'm going to be back again next week. We're going to jam again. All right, amigos y amigas, thanks again. It's been nice jamming with you guys. Until next time, hasta la próxima.